Well, Charlie Webster, who's a TV presenter and patron of Sheffield United, joins me now. And Charlie Webster, the club have made it very clear they don't want to succumb to mob rule.
No, I suppose not, but that's on the influence of the PFA, and Sheffield United haven't made a statement for 4 months, really. And today, in fact, I had a conversation with the chairman. It was actually a positive conversation, and I walked away from that and read the statement and had a look at what the club are saying, the stance that they've taken and the stance that the PFA have taken. But at no point has anybody made a decision. Sheffield United still haven't made a decision. They've succumbed to the PFA. The PFA have just asked if they train with him. The FA have said it's a dilemma, and at no point have Sheffield United acknowledged the extremity of his crime. They've not acknowledged I think it's over 155,000 people now that have signed a petition against Ched Evans going back to the club. Nobody's making a decision, and I suppose I feel that I need to make a decision as patron of Sheffield United.
And what decision was that?
My decision, which I've informed the club a little bit earlier on, is that I resign as patron of Sheffield United Community Foundation, which is all about inspiring the next generation through sport.
And you have made it clear that your decision is based on their lack of decision-making or the fact that they haven't banned him from the club?
No, my decision is made on the fact that I don't believe a convicted rapist, as in Ched Evans, should go back to a club that I'm patron of and should go back into the community to represent the community. He's not just going into a job, he's banded as a role model. We cheer him on as a role model, and he's influencing the next generation of young men who are currently still making their decisions on how to treat women and what sexual mutual consent is.
What was the response from the club when you told them?
I currently haven't had a response, but as I said, I did have a conversation which was very positive and friendly earlier on. They said to me that they still haven't made a decision, but they have made a decision to let him come and train back at the club.
But, Charlie, do you think what you say now will have an impact?
I hope. I have spoke quite a few times now, and now I'm here speaking to you, and I'm trying to, I suppose, give victims of sexual abuse a voice, because I think in this day and age, in 2014, we're a rich society, rich in education as well, and still there isn't an education on mutual consent.
Let me ask you about this. This is a very personal decision from you, and the club has made clear that it doesn't want to be forced into a position by what it calls mob rule, and it hasn't decided. Now, you heard Gordon Taylor there. He says the guy has paid the penalty. We live in a society where we believe in redemption, we believe in rehabilitation, and he has been to prison. Isn't that enough to let him go back to the job?
Firstly, the PFA are the players' union, so of course he's going to say that his interest is only for the players and to make sure that the players get the best out of their situation. So it's a union. It's the same union that has recently been sued for sexism when they didn't allow a woman into a dinner. So I don't know really what you would take from the PFA, and the fact that why have the club chosen to listen to the PFA and not to the thousands, tens of thousands of fans that say they don't want Ched Evans back at the club.
But there are many fans who do. There are many fans who look at his record, look at his score record, see how the club fares without him and say, we know that's a crime and we know he served his time. Isn't that enough now?
But the point you've just made is that he scores goals. So why would the club bring him back to train? To me, there's only two reasons. The club are bringing him back to train to get him match fit to play, or they bring him back to train to go and be sold in the January transfer window, which is not a moral decision or a community decision, which clubs say they are all about. They are the heart of community. You cannot have it both ways.
Is this specific to sexual crime? I mean, there is a Wikipedia page which details all the crimes that professional sportsmen and women have committed, mostly men. Lee Hughes, a convicted drink driver who killed, and he's out and he's back and he's playing. Is this a more particular case, do you think, because it has to do with sexual violence?
It's a good point, because I actually looked at that Wikipedia page as well. So maybe firstly, there's a lot on there, and maybe it needs the fact that the FA, instead of saying this is a dilemma, which is what the chairman said, Greg Dyke, should actually do his job, which is impose rules. So maybe they should make rules so that players need to be told what they can and can't do. In my mind, they can't go and rape and then go back into their job to influence the next generation. But also the fact that, to me, it is personal because I can only comment on sexual abuse because I have been sexually abused, but also because I'm a patron of this club and of the foundation, and I was brought up in the community of Sheffield. And for me, I'm worried about my community.
What would be your message to the fans then? What would you want them to say?
I think a lot of the fans have spoken up, but the fans that are supporting Ched Evans, I think need to maybe look at their own families and imagine what it would be like if it was their daughter or their wife or their mother, because 1 in 5 women in this country are sexually abused, which is a statistic that shouldn't exist in 2014. And the reason why is because nobody speaks about it, and the reason why people don't speak about it is because they get abused. Me speaking about it, I've got abused. The lady that started the petition has been abused. I got said that I should have a slap around my face to get myself back in order.
Charlie Webster, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you.